Welcome to Rooted, the Art Arbor podcast. I'm your host and moderator, Jake Vanderhayden, joined by my co-host, Andrew Witter. And for episode 4, we are joined with our very first guest on the pod, Jarrett Holtslag.
Woo.
Welcome to the pod.
Hey.
Jarrett's a longtime collaborator of both of us, and lots of art, lots of creation, lots of good times have been had between us. So it was a total logical choice for us to have Jarrett on as our first guest. So without further ado, tell us a little bit about yourself and your art, Jarrett.
Yeah.
Hi. Well, I just want to start by saying thanks for having me on. It's good to see you guys. And like Jake said, we've worked plenty in the past on different projects and different stuff here in Michigan. I'm still here in Michigan, and I'm just playing in a few groups out here, mainly this band Squatch and a band formerly known as Pocket Watch, but now Candid Antics, as well as the group that Jake actually currently manages and books for weddings and jazz and stuff, as well as just a few other tribute groups, an Amy Winehouse tribute group, some different jazz groups. Tommy Pansy, who is the band leader for Candid Antics, he puts together different jazz events and stuff around here that he'll usually have me on. So I just do a variety of stuff out here, and just try to do a little bit of everything. Been out here since 2019, and the last few years have been great. Just bouncing back from COVID out here, starting to get things rolling, and we got a lot of exciting stuff coming up.
Nice. And you do more than just music too.
Yeah, so it's been a while, but I also have a business called Wyred, and I made custom jewelry and art and in commissions and stuff, and that one's been on the back burner for a little while here, but I've been buying a bunch of new tools to kind of reattack that this summer at just sort of a different angle, a bunch of engraving and casting equipment and whatnot. So that should be really fun. It's been a busy summer.
And I love seeing all your illustrations and visual art too. You're all over the place.
Yeah.
You do it all.
Yeah.
That is kind of where it started for sure. I remember just drawing was always super, super fun as a kid, even before music or anything else. I wanted to be an art teacher at one point. I think if you would have asked me in 6th, 7th grade, I would have told you I want to be an art teacher.
Wow. I don't know if I can see that for you, to be honest, but I mean, you're obviously talented, but I don't know if I can see you with a bunch of kids.
Yeah, at this point, I'm definitely more so leaning towards music and whatnot. But art is awesome in all forms, and I've always just been attracted to it for whatever reason.
Tell us a little bit more about your origin story when you when you're younger, and you started not with music but with this stuff, and kind of what led you to where you are today.
Yeah.
Well, I had a pretty casual relationship with playing piano for most of my childhood. I feel like after I don't know, maybe age 7 or 8, 9, there's a piano at my grandparents' house that I would play. So I had some cousins who knew a few tunes, and so I had been playing piano a little bit, but I definitely loved drawing and was drawing and making physical art much more than playing music up until maybe 2012, 13. And then once I got into middle school, junior high, high school, it was I just couldn't stop playing the piano. It was so much fun. Being in bands with your friends and whatnot is, I feel like, where a lot of us start. And I'm lucky to still be in that band with my friends. This band Squatch has been playing together since 2017, I think, and a lot of us were in a band before that. So pretty cool. We moved out here from our hometown and just hanging in Grand Rapids now.
Yeah, I think the first time I ever saw you / met you, you were playing piano. I had an independent study in high school, and I had a room reserved. And I remember Jarrett was in there with his buddies playing piano, and I was like, "You got to get out of here. This is my reserved room."
I don't care about your piano, dude.
I think that was our first interaction ever, which is really funny. I'm pretty sure that was our first interaction, but always jamming, always creating. Yeah, that's
my first interaction was also him on piano, and he asked me if I wanted some candy. He pulled out of this mysterious backpack of his. Middle of the wedding, he's like, he wants some candy, bro. I was like, who is this guy? So I'm there.
Yeah, we met on a gig, and it was a crazy gig. They had me set up like, I remember for that ceremony, we were set up. I was set up probably like 50 feet from you guys, like on another side, like the other wall of people, and that was interesting.
That was one of the
wedding was
weirdest
like the
weddings
highest
ever.
production wedding we had ever done within the Blue.
My first wedding, still this day, has been the craziest wedding I've ever played.
Indoor pyrotechnics, probably like 15 photographers running around, like
camera on a crane.
Yeah,
a couple of them. Jeez, oh Pete.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Crazy. Yeah, and then that's how we met. We met through in the Blue Jazz Ensemble. A number of years ago, man. It's been probably 5, 6 years ago. And,
that was probably also around 2018, 2017. I feel like.
Yeah, I'd say there was a period where all three of us were together in the group, and that was like the core existence of the group at the time was just, playing local shows, smaller things, a wedding here and there, but it was a lot of just, why the group was started was just to get together and play jazz and have fun. So lots of good times. But yeah, let's hear more about what you're working on currently, Jarrett. What are your big projects? What's coming soon?
Well, yeah, I definitely got to plug a few things right off the bat here. If you are a fan of Squatch or Candid Antics or both, or you just want to hear us, come on down to Founders on the 4th. We're playing together that night, and that should be a super sweet show.
October 4th, right?
October 4th. Yeah, October 4th.
When are the doors open?
You could probably get in there basically whenever, but I think probably officially 7 p.m.
7, cool.
Nice. But yeah, that should be exciting. And Candid Antics just put our first like full length album out, so go give that plenty of plays. That's been getting a great reaction so far. We've been super thankful for all the good things we've heard from folks, and I'm super stoked with how that album came out. So that's still real fresh. That came out maybe like a month ago, and very currently, like I'm just still stoked that we got that out. Squatch will have a single coming out here soon. I might have put the art into that folder.
Oh yeah, we can share. Yeah.
But that should be coming out soon. We recorded that at River Studio about a month or two ago, and just been working on getting that distributed. On the 22nd, we're going to be making our first YouTube video for Candid Antics, or not YouTube video, for like music video, like actual, like we've got different photo shoots planned, and like a whole, like we've got someone like directing like the B shot of all the other stuff that'll be in the video, as well as just like a live recording. I'm going to bring the Rhodes out there, and we're just going to try to make a really fun outdoor thing and release a new song with it. So that's exciting. Also, the members of Candid Antics, we do a jazz jam downtown every Sunday. So if you're into jazz and you're into playing some straight ahead tunes, some standards, or you just like listening, every Sunday at Turnstiles from 5 to 8, we're there. And we'd love to see you. Love for you to come on down and play some tunes with us. What else we got coming up? Squatch is going to be going up to the UP next month, the weekend of the 18th. We've got an Orpheum Theater gig up in Hancock, and we're going to try to just like fill that out. Play some other places up there while we're there if we can. But that's coming up. We're planning another next year. Candid Antics is going to do another round of getting out of town. It sounds like we're trying to go back to Nashville because that was a ton of fun. Maybe try to get out to NAMM, and then we're also just want to hit more of the Midwest, because we really haven't, in Squatch too, we haven't played a lot of like Chicago, Ohio, like Wisconsin. There's places around here that we're trying to like hit next year that are like out of the way, but not like the other side of the country, just because it takes like so much logistics to get somewhere real far away. Like when we went and played South by Southwest this year, it was doable, but man, that was like my first like tour. And I was like, I get why people are just exhausted. Like you're just moving gear around everywhere. You're driving 18 hours. It's a decent amount of work. But yeah, we'll have a bunch of exciting stuff happening next year. Some more local gigs. Candid Antics will be playing at the Church of the Dunes in Holland on the 26th of this month. So that's like, if you're trying to catch a show here soon. I could keep, you could keep just shooting off random gig names, but if you check out either website, really, we've got all of our upcoming.
And that's what Squatch.com, one of them, and CandidAntics.com.
Yep. So Candid Antics Band and SquatchBand.com.
Watch Band.
Candid Antics
Band. Okay.
We'll put all that in the description too. So if you're watching, check it out in the description below.
Nice.
Yeah, follow us on all of our socials. We're trying to stay as up to date as we can with everything. Get shows out there.
Cool. I want to share this.
Yeah, let's jump back to Squatch here. We've got that album art that you were talking about.
Yeah, this is it right here?
Yeah. So this is actually the first unveiling anywhere of this art. Something I designed a few weeks ago, and this will be the single art here for a tune called Cakewalk that we've got coming out.
Nice.
So,
wow, cool.
Prepare for a release date to be put out there in the next like week or two, and then the song will probably be coming out next month. We're real excited about it.
Awesome. Yeah, this looks really cool. Is this what software did you use? I'm curious.
I do all of my like digital design art with Affinity. It's sort of the Adobe competitor right now, and I'm a huge fan because instead of a subscription-based service, it's just like you buy it, you've got it, and they've been improving their software since I got it in like 2016, 17, and they're at the point right now where they're pretty competitive. Like if you're an Adobe user, you could probably pick up this software and be happy with it.
Yeah. Is it pretty intuitive to use, or is there a little barrier to kind of get comfortable with it?
No, it's like fairly intuitive if you've used like any sort of like digital design software before. It's pretty. I think they were trying to make it so that if you had used like, Adobe Illustrator, you could get Affinity Design and basically just pick it up. So
yes,
pretty cool.
Yeah,
digital art is fun, but it's also really too easy to like go and put too much detail into it, which is what I usually struggle with. And the whole time I was designing this, I was trying to think, like how minimal can I keep it? Yeah. Last time I tried to design some album art, it was just way too much going on. But I like how this turned out. It's cool.
It turned out really good. And I think to your point, it's minimal, but it's still cohesive and not too overstimulating. But I also feel like it's very trippy as well with the lines kind of work their way into this, almost Fibonacci sequence here. So that's really, I really like the way this turned out. Good job, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. And Cakewalk, is that something who wrote that in the band? Did you write that, or was it a collaborative experience, or?
A bit of a collaborative experience, but I started that one. I got that sort of skeleton worked out for it.
Cool. I'm curious, what are the vibes of the song? What can we, without giving too much away, I don't want to spoil it, but
it's pretty cool. It's it starts pretty like fusion-y. Like the beginning, actually I wrote it really reminds me of like some Snarky Puppy tunes, like Thing of Gold, where it's got like this sort of a repetitive like thing at the beginning. It kind of starts like that, and there's a lot of melody lines and harmonies in the beginning that are more like fusion-y, kind of jazzy, and then it kind of gets heavy, and then the second half of the song is almost like it's kind of like I was trying to go for like a Daft Punk meets the Police kind of thing.
Ooh.
It's actually pretty different for the band. I'm excited.
Ooh, it's zesty.
Ooh. Zesty.
Yeah.
I'm pumped to hear. And I take it you guys are pretty good about the social updates, so I'll keep an eye there. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, y'all saw it first here, though. Look at that.
Hey, first here.
Oh, debut.
Cool. Well, thanks for sharing, brother. Also, I believe this is the Squatch band for those viewing the YouTube video. This is a great video, great picture rather. At is that the Stray in Grand Rapids?
That's the Stray. That's the Stray.
That's nice. Yeah,
and that's a good picture. We got Jimmy in there. Well, our drummer. You know, drummers are always just behind in the shot.
Yeah, seriously.
It's always so hard to find a shot with everybody in it. But
Jimmy's your OG too. You guys had a couple different drummers, and now you got the original crew back.
Yeah, yep. Back to the original crew. We're stoked. We had a whole lots of different people in and out over the last 4 or 5 years. Witter,
I was one of them. Had a great time. Great little year and some change. It was a great ass time. Yeah, we went all over the place. Went out to Pennsylvania, recorded, and yeah. I'm really glad you guys are reunited, though. I guess have some special chemistry, the four of you. So I'm pumped for this single, and I'm gonna try to make it out to the Founders show. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, that'll be a sweet show. I am too. It's been a minute since I played at Founders, so it'll be a cool one.
Nice. Do you want to try to play a Squatch clip real quick? Give people a vibe on that.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, cool. Actually don't know if. Did you have that pulled up, the clip of it? I don't have it in there.
Oh, you know what? Play the one that we've got uploaded. I think the one that we've got uploaded is actually Candid Antics.
Yeah, we got a lot of content for that.
Yeah,
we do.
The Squatch dig clip. If you've got YouTube up, we could play a bit of that video.
Cool. Yeah, I'll do that. But in the meantime, while I'm searching that, yeah.
Your influences, what got Squatch to where it is today, Jarrett?
I mean, Squatch is cool because it's this like mix of stuff. Like I feel like Ray and Gavin come from more of like a metal background, and then like me and Jimmy come from more of, I mean, Jimmy plays and loves all sorts of music, so I don't want to put him in any boxes or really anybody, but like we come from different like backgrounds and tastes, and it kind of adds together to this real sort of like prog rock feel that like is reminiscent of like some other modern bands, like maybe like Humphreys McGee is sort of what we get compared to sometimes, or you know, we're big fans of like King Crimson and Yes and Rush and all the classic like prog rock bands. So that's something that you don't really see a ton of these days. And I feel like just right off the bat, people are like, whoa, like, you know, some people just never really heard music like that, and it kind of helped us stand out a little bit. And I think really just like how tight we all are as like friends too is kind of what like holds this group together. Because you can have like a talented group of people without good chemistry, and it can all crash and burn, you know, like, so you really need to like trust the people you're playing with and have a good relationship with them, I think, to have like a super long-term success with people. And yeah, 3 of us are living together right now. So like, we're all really great friends, and Jimmy's not too far away either. He's down in Kalamazoo.
Nice. So I have this up. I'll add this stage here. Yeah, we'll give it a quick little listen. This is the Dig, recorded live from Third Coast Recording Studio.
Wow, Gavin without the facial hair. Brandon Pratt on drums, Tim Green on sax. With the audio good here, but
funky vibe. I like it. Yeah. Little B section, nice.
Yeah, just some nice funky tunes. And I love this room at Third Coast just because it looks beautiful. Like live videos there just always look so good.
Yeah, they've done a nice job with content in mind. They shoot a lot of content out of that place. It's looks really good.
And I didn't even realize we'd have our other co-founder of Art Arbor, Tim Greamy, featured in that video.
Yeah, what's up? Totally forgot about that.
Had some cross-pollination going on all these creative projects. And I think that really plays up to the point of, what we're trying to foster is the community of artists. And I think that, as Jarrett just shared, having that tight bond between people and what brings people together. I mean, music really lends itself to that. But in any art, I think like your inspirations and your camaraderie and everything really brings that presence to what you're doing in your art, and community is just so important to people, but it's really critical in art. I guess, what do you think about that, Jarrett? What are your thoughts on community?
I mean, I think it's important. Yeah, I mean, you got to support each other as musicians and have fun with each other. I mean, everyone's really, if you're here in your life as a musician, like it's because you love music. And so the other, people that love music, I mean, most of my friends these days, people that I meet are other musicians, and like, I don't know what I do with all my friends, and it's great being able to relate to people's like successes and hardships and play with them, jam with them, be able to, I mean, the sense of community is awesome out. And so,
what we want to really work on with Art Arbor is not only enriching that experience, but then how can we create that same feel of community that you have with other artists, with people that maybe don't identify as artists. As we heard at VCon, if you listen to our last pod, we are all artists, artists talking to artists, but those who like maybe don't identify as an artist, how can you really connect with those people? How can you really engage with those people? That's what we hope to bring together, just through sharing art, through investing in art, all these things that we want to bring to the forefront.
Do you want to? I've got the picture here of Candid Antics.
Yeah, let's jump into the next project. Jarrett's a busy guy. I can hardly get him booked on things these days.
Yeah, here's Candid Antics. We got me on the left, Dale Bales behind me, Tommy Pansy, Zach Dubay, Chris Murphy, Kiala Venema. Sweet band. It's like more jazz fusion funk vibes.
Yeah,
and you might still know the name Pocket Watch. I run into plenty of people out here that still know us as Pocket Watch, and we're just working on getting that branding switched over. We got a cease and desist order this year, like right about the time we put the album out and had to change our name. So we're getting Candid Antics rolling. Buy the last little bit of Pocket Watch merch that exists because it'll never be made again.
Wow.
Limited
edition. Rare. Limited, literally limited, because legally we can't make it unlimited. So
but this group started a few years ago. It's been a whole lot of fun.
So as you got into this rebrand, how did you come up with the name? I mean, you had to sit there and be like, oh wow, we got to rename this group. What are we gonna do?
Yeah. That really like sucked.
Don't sugarcoat it.
Yeah, don't sugarcoat it for us.
It really like sucked thinking of a new name because I mean, Pocket Watch was really growing on all of us. But we decided to just go for something that was like totally different. Just take the opportunity to go like totally different name. Like we couldn't do like Pocket Watch one, like like switch a letter or something. Like we just different name.
There was like a whole thread that you all had on social media, and someone was like "Walk it, Potch," and I was like, "Yes."
Yeah, the amount of times that we heard that, man, I can't even. But we basically had about like a month to figure it out, and that month of ideas quickly turned into like, we've got like 2 days to like decide on a name, and we still don't really have like the name yet. And even up until the day of, it was going to be a different name. And then we found someone else who also had that name. And yeah, Candid Antics was like a day that we needed to decide decision. It was one of the names in the running. Like, we just had a bunch of names that were like maybes, and we're like, all right, here it is. And, you know, we're just rolling with it. It's growing on me. It's starting to grow on me.
Cool. Yeah. Let's see a little clip.
Yeah, I'll add this up here, and yeah, let's roll.
That is also at Third Coast.
Also at Third Coast.
This is a tune that's on the album that just came out.
Is that the spot? Do you want to start?
Okay. Yeah.
At the F minor.
That's like this. It has the funky. I really enjoy
it. A little behind the scenes.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. Good job of
the candid shots, if you will. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Nice.
So that's that tune's on the album, and there's plenty on the Squatch and the Pocket Watch YouTube channel for anyone who wants to go see some more live stuff and videos, but also just, you know, any audio streaming platform, you should be able to find us up there, either band. So
check the description. We got it below.
Well, we do. I've listened to this album, and I have to say I really enjoy it. It's yeah, everything's just really well done. It sounds clean, everything's tight, mixed well, mastered well. Yeah, definitely worth checking out more than once. It's worth putting on repeat. Yeah.
Sweet, thank you.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah, I mean, anything else you want to share with music? But I'm kind of excited. I want to get to some of these other things. You've got some pretty crazy other things. I don't want to spoil it if you don't want to continue, but
we can keep rolling. Yeah, what's up?
I know I'm going to throw this up on the stage here. I mean, come on, that's just beautiful.
Oh,
that's
thank you.
One of my favorite pieces you've done. Man. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like really getting into the zone with wire wrapping, and then I ended up like stopping because it was just so much work. It's like really hard to take so much time to do that. That pendant is actually very small. Those little green stones are, I think, 2 millimeters.
Yeah.
And so you're just layering all this stuff in, holding stones in with wire, and pretty tough. I made some really cool stuff though while I was at it, and it was really fun, super rewarding.
Now you're really talking as though this is a done thing for you. I mean, are you back at wire wrapping? Are you considering kind of getting into it again? I mean, or
the goal is to be able to start making basically like more solid cast stuff, which I think will save me time and give me more opportunity to do whatever it is. Because the wire wrapping was sweet, but you kind of have like limited like shapes and things that you can like do. And really now I've got the equipment to where I can just carve something out of wax, make a mold of it, and then just melt metal and just like do an actual cast of it. And then I've also got tools to engrave and set stones and, you know, polish and spruce it up. So it more so of I guess professional jewelry making setup. I mean, I'm not trying to downplay wire wrapping at all, but like to me it was like a little niche, like a little hard to
Hard to scale, right? Because it just,
Yeah,
I mean,
hard to scale, and
let-
it just takes so long. Like I couldn't really build an inventory up because I was just doing like custom work, and then
Yeah.
building an inventory up would just take like a super long time. But
And it seemed like you almost had to, and I want to talk about this a little bit, like was it a financial thing to focus on music and then, whenever the time's right, go back to jewelry making? Or was it just more of like a time thing? Kind of what was that? Because you're such a polymath, you're able to be so talented in multiple things.
it was a
Talk
little
about
bit of,
choosing for me.
I'd say mostly financial, but also I guess time. Like I knew the stuff that I wanted to eventually do would require like a bunch of tools that cost money that I didn't have. But I worked at a wood shop. I did like custom like table building and like finishing and just custom hardwood furniture stuff, and saved up money for a few years. And now I'm back to, well, I guess I wouldn't say full time. I have a part-time job, which is another fun thing that we could talk briefly about. But I've been working with Firefly drone shows, doing like animating and designing for their drone shows. And then now I've got more time to do the music, do the art. The art here, this fall, I'm hoping to get into doing more of this engraving and casting. But what I found this summer is I got all these tools, and now I don't have the extra time that I thought that I would have to do it. So I think it'll be more of like an off-season thing, which is good because that means there's gigs and stuff is happening. Like I'm not complaining one bit, but it hasn't really happened yet. I'm still sort of waiting, and I'm practicing my scroll work and engraving, just drawing. It's hard.
Yeah, I think one thing that we see with with artists, is that you spent so much time on something and then it's transactional and it's over, right? Like how many hours like approximately did it take to like make one of these pendants here, like this one?
That one probably took upwards of 40 hours.
Wow.
And it's like hard to translate that over to people. Like you're trying to price this thing, and art, it's so hard to put a value on like that. But even just the time, if you just think about like the bare minimum wage times 40 hours, like that's already adding up. But like people don't understand what it takes to, and that's not regardless of all the time that you spent tinkering and training and practicing, like that those are all the layers of art that have to be translated over to people. But just the time that it takes to do this, it's limited resources. You have to decide like, well, I can work on this, with the way that our world is right now, at least without Art Arbor, wink wink, we have to make these decisions, and there's really a lot that could be done if you unlocked the capability to leverage the assets that you already have. Like you have especially things that can be reproduced. But it's tough with something like this because it's a unique piece. It's something that can't necessarily be recreated. Even if it was, it would take a lot more time, and it would resources, and it would be a little bit different, at least, even if it was the same design, right? So
even thinking like $30 an hour at 40 hours and plus say $100 in material costs over, that's like $1,300 for something like this.
Yeah,
and I don't really think the demand is there, like the market. I mean,
and like there is some demand in some markets for it. Like
sure.
Like there were a few times I went to like festivals and like sold stuff, and not to say that I didn't have any success, but like it takes someone who really knows what goes into these to usually see it and be like, whoa, I would pay $1,000 for that.
I think it's just because like so much has been commoditized. It's been commoditized to the point where people don't really understand the value of an independent artist putting that much work into something. Like people are like, oh, I'll just go buy this cheap piece of jewelry that I found at the mall that's mass produced. It's not quality. It's hard to price that in for sure. We got another one, right? Let's see another wrap.
I think there was one more right there.
There's these two right there, and then there's this last one right here. That's, once again, I mean, you've always done a good job, I think, of picking really beautiful gems too. And So this one's just a really sweet one. I hope someday that you're able to continue some of this work, because I've seen a decent amount of wire wraps from festivals and other vendors. And I go to a lot of art shows thanks to my wonderful girlfriend. And she, when we go to places, we'll see wire wraps, and then just nothing really comes close to something like this. I think you're just super talented at it. So,
Well, thanks. I appreciate that. I'm excited too I think I'll maybe use some wire wrap stuff here and there, but really more as like when it actually adds to the piece and makes sense, and not out of like a necessity type thing. Because I agree, like it looks sweet. Like I love how they look. But
yeah, and I
man,
hope at some point
I'm
you're able
excited
to
just to carve some wax and like pour some metal. You know.
Yeah, and I hope at some point you're able to really price these accordingly, so it's worth your time. Because
that's the idea. That's the
yeah.
idea, and it should be more worth my time. Something that I've been looking into is because basically with lost wax casting, you make your wax model, you carve it, you know, you can melt wax and add. It's like sort of like additive and subtractive. You just basically do whatever you need to like get your wax thing. Then you make a sprue tree, you like connect wax to it to kind of make the metal be able to flow into it. And you make your mold and you do all this. You pour your metal, you melt your metal. But then the mold is gone once you're done, and the wax is gone. So like it kind of just like you would have to recarve it every time, technically. But what I am gonna try to get into is trying to either scan in 3D models or just design models on the computer. Because I've been using Blender. I've been getting my like Blender skills up, and I think I should be able to start modeling stuff on there. Then I can 3D print the model that I made in a wax that can melt just like the wax that I would carve. So if I design something in a digital space, then I should be able to just print and then have, you know, like limited runs of things, which, you know, I'm excited for, you know, different stones and different ones, being able to pour any shape and get like a run of things going, something that I can like pull an old design out and like alter and like use. And I'm assuming I'll be doing some carving too, but it's kind of there's some cool modern tools that you can use these days. I didn't even really know that you could do like 3D printing with lost wax casting until a few months ago, and I'm like, oh, that's sweet. That could add a lot to what I'm doing here. So trying to get into that.
Yeah, I tried finding pictures of it. I couldn't really find much content around what lost wax casting, but hopefully have you back on sometime and you can show us the jewelry you've made. I'm excited for that. But
yeah, that's really cool to like be able to scale like your design. So you're taking those physical traditional concepts and then you're putting it into software, and then you're able to repeat that and distribute it or reproduce it. And I think that's a great example of you being on the forefront of technology. And like I'd say a space like physical art is like it hasn't changed a lot over time, right? Like everyone's always creating, making new things, but like sculpting and jewelry and woodworking and metalworking and these things have been around for quite a while. But that's really cool to see that you can bring that to the market
on that.
Yeah, people are really excited about it. Like I think this is a pretty relatively new thing with like the high quality resin printers that can like print in 4K, and then also like because now there's a whole market springing up of like lost wax casting print material, like stuff that melts easy, stuff that's made for like being melted in lost wax. So I'm definitely not the first one to think of it, but it's like a newer new thing, I think, for casting in the last like decade or so. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is really cool. Wow. Yeah, I do have a video pulled up here of your drone show. I kind of want to circle back to that for a second because I know it's another interesting way of art. Got a couple cool videos here. I want to share.
Definitely another example of innovation and technology, recreating the space, like bringing those designs to the skies, literally using this modern technology is pretty wild. I don't think like even 30 years ago you could have explained this to someone.
No, I don't think you really could. Here's one. We'll go real quick. This is quite interesting, quite wild.
So Jarrett, you're like actually working on the designs to share them, right? Like you're creating digitally and creating what this is going to look like, and it manifests out in these shows, right?
Yep.
Wow. Yeah. What's that like? Do you use software? Is it hand sketching? I mean, this is mind-blowing.
It's like software based. I can't really say too much about how exactly we do it.
Sure. Okay.
Trade secret. Yeah.
Trade secret.
Right.
Okay.
But it's like it's kind of like you're designing like a 3D like marching band show, and you're putting lights to it.
Okay.
Where like each drone has a position and time kind of thing, and you set it up from there.
Yeah, here's another example of it. Wow. And have you as an artist, is it cool to do, like, do you find it is a very creative process that it kind of scratches some of that drawing and graphic design, or I guess not even graphic design, but design itch for you?
Yeah, definitely. It's super fun to like work with just the possibility of what you can do with all these drones. I think we've got some really exciting stuff coming this fall where we're going to try to like really make our mark on the industry and try some really new stuff to this field that we haven't really seen before. So yeah, I mean this company is sweet. Definitely follow them, pay attention to everything we're doing. Firefly drones, it's pretty sweet. A lot of what we're seeing is hey, that's Michael. You guys know him.
Michael Stanker, what's up?
Another good friend of the pod. Shout out to
Michael.
Cool.
So no, yeah, that's super cool. We got a lot of exciting stuff coming this fall. But yeah, it is very creative. Especially I found I mean, you can move lights around way faster than you can move drones around. So like it's really fun working with like all the light effects you can do and whatnot. So.
Wow, it's multidimensional.
Yeah, like community and network like really brings these opportunities to the forefront. Like whenever I talk to you, Jarrett, you don't have like some office job like me. You're like out doing some cool creative stuff, even if it's like your side gig. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I'm jelly. Yeah, that's great. Yeah. Well, I think we've covered. There's still more to come here, people. I mean, we can't get over how talented this guy is. I mean, is it time to talk about your project with your brother? I mean, I think we're checking all the boxes here.
Yeah, I kind of want to plug this a little bit here. I'm not really very involved in this company, but it's kind of like
I pulled it up.
I mean, it's right up your guys' alley as far as like talking about this Web3 stuff. And I have helped a little bit with I'll explain this more in like a minute to how it really ties in, but I did a little bit of like 3D printing stuff for them because they're trying to do some like physical model experimentation here, bridging into it. But
what's it called? First of all,
what this is the Kingdom, and
Kingdom. Okay.
It's like a virtual tabletop RPG / community / lore storyline world. But the really cool thing about it is that everything, it's all Web3 based, so it's all like on the blockchain. So when you build your character, it mints your character onto the blockchain, and then when you get stuff in game, it's like blockchain stuff that you actually own, and then you could like sell it and trade this stuff, and it creates this community of like. And also the other games, so they have different like they've got like the PvP thing and the World Explorer thing and and they're gonna add all this different stuff to the game, and all of your items and your stuff and your character can like go from game to game. So it's like really like your like your character in this world. I think it's like super cool.
Wow.
Well, so you actually have ownership of things within the game on the blockchain versus where like some Web 2 Fortnite type game, like there's an in-game currency, there's things that you have in game, but you don't really own that stuff. It's just like within its own universe. But it seems like this really has some value to it. Like
it's super cool. It's super cool. They've really been working so hard at this over the last few years, and they're like launching a bunch of stuff right now. And if anyone's interested in this, like check it out.
Where besides like the website, like is this what platforms or how do you access this?
Start with the website and create your character, and you can get into it.
Interesting. And you can do a cross IP universe. That's really sweet. I love that's one thing I love about blockchain.
And so like imagine if you could like, you know, like say you played a bunch of Skyrim and you get some sweet item in Skyrim. Imagine if you could go play Fortnite with that item too. You know what I mean? Like they're trying to like connect everything. They've got a bunch of exciting stuff happening, going to some conventions this this fall. And they have some like really exciting members of their team as well. I don't really know how much I can like say, but they're really doing some cool stuff. So if the whole Web3 thing is like sort of newer in the gaming world, and I think there's a lot there. I mean, like, you know, everything is going to be like this in like 50 years, I feel like.
Yeah, tap into that more. Like from your perspective, where do you see that going? Like in maybe even sooner than that, but in 50 years, where do you think everyone's going to be online?
Where are they going to?
How are they going to interact? Where are they going to be with this new technology from your perspective?
I mean, I think blockchain technology is just going to become like more and more prevalent because we're going to just need like a really good way to just like say what is true and who owns what. And I mean, to me, that seems like it would just make sense that we keep kind of going towards more of these sort of virtual worlds. If you can be more involved in a game, like, and it's going to be more fun because of that. Like, I think it'll just keep getting more and more virtual and connected, and and then you don't necessarily need like the actual physical objects to like do stuff. Like, I think there's going to be a lot of like parallels from like the Kingdom to like tabletop RPG stuff, but it's like a, you know, like a world for it.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest disconnect, like in the gaming world. I mean, gamers definitely wouldn't say that they're wasting their time or that they're not adding value. But I feel like aside from like streamers or people that have had a lot of success, like being paid, like in the esports world, which is I'm definitely not downplaying that. But for the average person that's not at that level, there's not like really like a lot of like economic opportunity, you know, to like, as we say in the pod here, pay the rent, right? Like I can't go onto a game and like really do anything than spend time, or in a lot of cases with like in-app purchases or in-game purchases or buying the game itself. It's all just a business for that developer. But there's a lot of opportunity to enter a digital space and have like facets of the real world, like digital ownership and like real connections with people, which I think has flourished over time. But there's so much more opportunity, and really that idea, like you said, the cross IP universe that they're going for with this project is where I think most things will probably go, where you have your avatar that exists in the metaverse and goes across all these different, not just games, but applications of the real world. Like there's thoughts of maybe we'll have meetings and work in the metaverse, and we'll have, you know, what we envision. We hope to see like representations of art in the metaverse, and having ownership of art in the using that Web3 technology. So this is really inspiring. We got to get them on the pod. I want to meet these other team members besides your brother.
Yeah, they're for sure. Like it'd be cool for you guys to link up, maybe talk about that. Because he, like, when he first started telling me about this a few years ago, I was like a little confused, and I'm like, what is this? Like, what's going on? And like now, like, it all just makes so much sense, and the way they've sort of filled out their like lore. I mean, they really do have some awesome like lore writers, and like the actual content of the lore seems like really interesting. Like so far, like I did a test 3D print for them for one of their models, just for like experimentation purposes and whatnot. And I was sent the lore for the thing that I printed, and it was like pages and pages of like backstory on this thing, and I'm like, this is sweet.
Wow.
And it's all like well written. So I think they've got some cool shit happening there.
Now, I'm curious, what is there, without giving too much away, is there like a rough launch date, like year, like either kind of first bit is a year from now before we can really dive in, or like what?
Well, I think you can go and create your character now and go get started with things. And then if you get in now, I think you'll be in the loop more so as like it keeps expanding. And I think there are things there for people already to kind of like, you want to go make your character and stuff, and like start doing these preliminary things, and like and then like there's like, you know, there's a variety of stuff if you dig down that website of like things that you could do
Right now, today. That's cool.
right now.
Wow. Yeah.
So I know like the create your avatar thing was huge for them. They were like working on that for a while, and then they've got like community building stuff going on right now, I believe.
Is all the IP for those games original, or are they going to connect up with other games that people already know, or what's kind of the roadmap there that you know of at least?
I think right now it's like basically like original stuff, but they've got like multiple things going within that world. So they're going to start like building out that world, and you know, who knows where it goes from there.
Wow.
Cool.
Yeah. We'll have that linked in the description below. Go check that out too.
Awesome. Well, yeah, this has been a lot of fun. I've been so glad that we've been able to dive into you and all your art. And yeah, I'm curious. Is there any with juggling to these constantly different talents and this different output? Are you like, how do you, or maybe do you struggle at all with finding time for all these things, or having to make decisions? Or I think there's a lot of people out there who are multi-talented who sometimes find challenge kind of balancing all the different things.
Yeah, it's definitely I don't know, I feel like you just have to kind of have like priorities of where you're at. Like the music takes priority over the art for me at this point. And like you just kind of have to like work with the time you got. A lot of my like art time the last like few months, that like non-music, has just been spent like practicing stuff, because there's a whole skill set that you need for like engraving. Like I'm like, oh, I can draw with a pen and like not have to erase. Like, oh, it should be easy to use an engraver and engrave. And it's like, no, like you're like using this sharp thing at like rotating. It's just like a skill set that you got to like learn, you know? So like that's something that I maybe didn't think about too much, and that I'm kind of trying to like juggle now. But really, I think the biggest thing that kind of like sucks for me right now is and I just think most artists and musicians who are just trying to like play music and gig, is that like if you are a gigging musician, you also have to be a content creator, and like doing that all the time, and that just takes away from like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to like take videos and edit videos and post them and like
It's its own art form, right? Yeah, like that's
like,
not what you want to create.
Yeah, like I want to like make music. Like how me and Steve were talking about this the other day, where it's like, how can you preserve like the creative aspects and the fun of what you're doing, and still have like that online presence, and be in like, you know, doing everything to the extent that you should be. Like really, I don't really know a great way of doing that
Without hiring like a whole entourage to follow you around, like limited resources.
Yeah, really.
Yeah,
right.
and that's
so that's really the issue. Like that's the thing that just like sucks.
The biggest solution I've found so far is putting a content capture on the venue, and being like, you know, a lot of venues now are starting to create spaces where they are capturing their own content. And then now that you've got it, but you've still got to maybe do some editing and posting. And it's like, hopefully you've got maybe a friend you can pay 20 or $50 or whatever and use Fiverr, Upwork, whatever, and have them do some of that stuff for you. I've worked with a few artists doing that where they'll go and have the venue or maybe some fans capture for them. And then I'll do the posting, editing, that sort of stuff. And that's a good dynamic. It brings it, pretty minimal to the artist to rely on capturing, but then the venue's got to do it. You know what I mean? And it's in their best interest to do it. So I think it's helping show them the way of like, hey, you want to do this because it's good for you, it's good for us, it's good for everyone. And so yeah, have someone capture for us, because having us do it separately is possible, but it just it's more appealing than to like if Founders was like, hey, we're gonna have this video for you and send it to you afterwards. I mean, that'd be super nice instead of having to think about, all right, we get there, set all of our gear up, make sure we sound check, and now I've got to make sure I have a video of somewhere I can put a camera or myself, my phone or whatever. Or you got to bring your friend and be like, hey, I'll give you $20 to use your iPhone to capture a video or something. I mean, just a lot of logistics. Where the venue can do it, it's, it takes a lot of work out of your hands and into theirs, and it's pretty easy for them to do it too. But that's what I'm always trying to tell friends: have them do it, and then have a homie post it for you or something.
Yeah, it's just like just keeping up on it and like needing to have this online presence. Like if I wasn't a musician, I probably wouldn't have like a social media, or like it'd be like very trimmed down. Like I feel like in general, I'm not the type of person to want to be like constantly telling everybody what I'm up to all the time, like super outward. Like I feel like I wouldn't I wouldn't be doing it as much unless I felt like I like had to. And it's just, that's basically like I think the flaw in like right now what's going on with music is that you have to do all of your practicing and writing and gigging and doing all this. But then like if you're doing all that and you don't have a good online presence, like it's probably for naught.
It's better to have one. I mean, and that's the glorious thing. When we went to VCon, Gary Vee talked about, we don't know if this next form of marketing is going to be as free and available as social media. It's like going back to it. You had to market, you had to be on TV, a billboard, had to be out physically doing it. I think personally, this digital landscape is a blessing. It's not a thing everyone is able to do, but at the end of the day, it's so kind of what trade-offs do you want to make,
Yeah, I've heard people say recently, like it's never been easier and it's never been harder to get out there. I think the main thing with art online is that everyone feels that feeling that Jarrett has, that they have to be present online, and there's just like too much content. Like even just when you're trying to watch a movie, like last night I was with my wife and I was like, there is just too many things on Netflix. Like how am I supposed to decide what I want to watch? But it's the same way with consuming art for a lot of people, and then there is just a lot of volume of things that aren't good, and to me at least, maybe to some people, but it's like, how do we filter through all that? How do we really decide what is valued? And ultimately in the way our society operates, it does ultimately lead to money, right? So the ugly truth of it is that we have to make sure that people have resources and are able to be economically empowered to do what they want to do. So that's what we're hoping to do, is to get those resources to people through markets. But I was kind of interested to hear more, Jarrett, as you have, I'd say, successfully navigated your career so far, working through all these different mediums of art and through these different communities and these different projects and things. What advice would you give to someone that maybe is in a similar position as you, where they're trying to prioritize what they want to work on and they have a lot of different projects going on?
I don't know, because like really a lot comes down to, I don't know, like, because for me, I had to just like stop doing like as much art for a few years and just like work a full-time job and like some money to like get like what I want to do rolling. So I think it's important to like try to just like plan ahead and be like, what do I really need to do to like set myself up, and then like how do I do it? And I don't know, the wood shop was fun, but I don't know. I'm doing a pretty. This isn't a great answer. I don't know. I don't really know what I'm doing, so I don't really know how to tell other people.
How did I get here? Oh my
Hey,
God.
I'll pull it out of what you just said. You said that
Yeah.
you need to have a clear goal of
Yeah.
where you see yourself, and you need to get from point A to point B. As simple as that is, it's like while following your passion and not losing sight of that. Because I think, you know, at least what I know about what you went through the last couple of years, it was definitely like to where you are now. I'd say that you like that all blossomed, right? Like you started with a goal and you're like, this is kind of where I want to see things go. And you had to do some things to get there. And now a lot of that stuff is happening, and you're able to focus your time and your attention on that.
Yeah. And it sounds like you know, like you said, you had a goal, you had an intention, and you worked backwards and made a plan to move to. I mean, we had conversations where like, I'm working this job, I'm saving up to buy this thing, and then when I buy this thing, I'll be able to, you know. So you had a plan and you worked the plan, but also too there is this bit of ambiguity of like how life we co-create with the existence we live in. So you do your best, but who knows where things are going to go.
I think now that I'm thinking about it more too, it's like you really just have to make sure that you're like around folks that you work well with and enjoy too, because like
So true.
like basically every bit of success that I've had the last few years is just because like I'm working with, you know, like I'm in like groups that are working well together, and like, you know, it's all like, you know, you and your friends enabling each other to like do what you're trying to do. So
Yeah,
I mean, I mean, I know some people who are just solo artists, musicians, getting by fine, not having to split gig money between like 6 people. Like that's totally, you can do that if that's what you're trying to do. But like, I feel like if you're trying to be, like in a band, you really just need to make sure like you trust the people you're playing with, and you've got some folks around, which is like harder than it seems. Like I've always been like I've been pretty fortunate to have like really good friends. And I'm really thankful for that. But like, if you don't got really good friends, just try to like, just find people that you really like working with. And I think that's, important. I feel like that's probably a important prerequisite that I was just kind of fortunate enough to, you know, be surrounded by some good folks. I couldn't have done it like by myself for sure.
Yeah, I think you just have to put yourself out there and just have that endless pursuit of passion, and you'll get there. I think, you know, the people that have.
You froze up on me, Jake.
Oh no, Jake. Oh, we're gonna pause this for a second here.
So community really is just such an important thing, and I think that you've really seen that, Jarrett, through everything that you've done, and we're really excited to see what you got coming. So I know you plugged a lot at the beginning, but reminder to everyone: Squatch, Candid Antics, Jarrett Holtslag, Wyred, his business. We got a lot of things down in the description below. Get out, go support, and also the, you know, going off of what we were just talking about, that community and immersing yourself and surrounding yourself with the people that can help you. Go, if you're a jazz musician, even if you're not in Grand Rapids and you can't go jam with Jarrett, go find a jam session. You know, if you're, that's a great example of how an artist can go out there and be a little bit vulnerable and really surround themselves with a group of people that can advance them. I mean, specifically to jazz, that's how it happens. It's a communal art form. It's a oral tradition, basically, that has been passed down. Like, you cannot really be a jazz musician existing in your own space, but think of how like that to other art too. So go to a jam, if you're an artist, go to a show, meet some people, network with some people, or if that's not your thing, do it online, join a forum, get connected with people, and
yeah, get yourself out there. That's how Candid Antics all came together. We all met each other through different jam sessions and stuff around town. And then, you know, at at one point Tommy pulled us all together, but like if it weren't for just getting yourself out there, we wouldn't have met each other. So that's great advice. Definitely go out to your local jam sessions, get yourself out there, go mess up a bunch in front of some folks a few times. Yeah.
Well, great. Thank you so much for your time, guys. And thanks everyone for listening. And I think we'll catch you on the next pod.
Yeah. Thank you guys for having me, and have a great rest of your day. We'll talk soon. I'm sure. Excited to see where this all goes.
Thanks, brother. Peace.